It is very sad to see how much things have changed for Prince Harry. He used to be a very important and well-loved person, but now it seems like his fame is fading away. Prince Harry did not think this would happen, but the people in Australia were very honest about how they felt. During their most recent trip to the country, the public did not want to see Meghan Markle at all. This rejection was very mean, and it was impossible for anyone to ignore it. The trip was supposed to make everyone feel good and remind them why they liked the couple, but instead, it was a very big wake-up call. They thought they would get a very warm welcome with lots of cheering, but that is not what happened. Now, Harry is flying back home, and he feels very embarrassed and sad, almost like a dog walking away with its tail between its legs. People who know them say that Harry feels even worse because the people were mostly being cold to his wife, Meghan. It is hard for him to see people treat her that way when he cares about her so much. If we look back to the year 2018, the world looked like a very different place for them. At that time, they had just finished their beautiful royal wedding, which felt like a fairy tale from a storybook. When Harry and Meghan landed in Australia back then, they were treated like the biggest rock stars in the entire world. The people in the city of Sydney were so excited that they almost lost their minds because they were so happy to see them. Thousands and thousands of fans waited outside for many hours. Some of them even slept in tents on the sidewalk just so they could see the happy new couple for only 2 seconds. It was the best time for Harry and Meghan, and it was a moment they will probably never forget. Every royal person dreams of having people love them that much. So we have to ask ourselves, what happened between then and now? Why are things so different today? You should get ready because the change is so big it will make your jaw drop in surprise. One of the most famous moments from that old trip was when Prince Harry gave a woman a hug, and she started to cry because she was so happy. Her name was India Brown. She had been waiting very patiently since 4 o'clock in the morning just to get a glimpse of the royals. She said that just seeing them would be a wonderful thing, but she also said that getting a hug from Prince Harry would be the most amazing thing ever. It was also during this special tour that Meghan and Harry told the whole world that they were going to have a baby. The people in Australia felt very special and honored. They felt like they were part of the family because they were among the first people to hear such big personal news. The excitement was very real, and you could feel the energy in the air like a giant party. People looked at the couple like they were a mix of famous movie stars and important royalty. Everywhere they went, people showed how much they liked them, and it seemed like Australia had picked them as their favorite royal visitors of all time. Meghan was pregnant at the time, and she and Prince Harry started their royal work in Australia on a Tuesday. They did something very cute by cuddling a koala at a zoo. They also went to a big meeting to open a new science building in Sydney. They spent their first day meeting many local people and going to many different places. This was their first big job since the leaders at the palace told everyone that they were expecting a baby in the spring. Everything seemed perfect, and the couple looked like they were going to be the leaders of the royal family for a very long time. People were happy to see them working hard and being kind to everyone they met. It was a time of great hope and many smiles. But things started to change in a very big way after they decided to stop being working members of the royal family. They moved away, and many things happened that made people feel differently about them. There were many arguments and fights that people talked about. They did big interviews on television where they said things that upset some people. They made big deals with famous companies in Hollywood and made movies about their lives on Netflix. There was always some kind of drama in the news about them. Because of all this, the way people thought about them slowly started to change. For many years, they did not go to Australia at all. They were very busy trying to start a brand new life in California. They were learning how to be famous celebrities instead of being royals who served the public. The leaders at Buckingham Palace told everyone that Prince Harry and Meghan would not be coming back to work for the royal family anymore. They stepped down from their jobs a while ago and moved to the United States to live in a big house. The couple was getting ready to have their second child at that time. Because they were not working for the Queen anymore, they were told they could not keep their special titles or their special jobs with charities. These titles and jobs were given back to the Queen so she could give them to other people in the royal family who were still doing the work. This was a very big deal, and it showed that Harry and Meghan were truly on their own now. So when they went back to Australia this year, things were not the same at all. They were no longer coming as workers who represented the king or the royal family. They did not arrive as important official people. Instead, they arrived like famous celebrities who were traveling for jobs where they get paid. They left their big house in California and flew across the ocean without the support of the royal family. They did not have any of the big charity programs that usually go along with a royal visit. Because of this, many people in Australia thought that Harry and Meghan were only coming to make money for themselves. Some people started calling their life a soap opera, because it seemed like there was always a new story or a new problem happening with them. This trip was happening 8 years after they had last been there, and it felt very different to everyone watching. Even before their airplane landed on the ground, you could see that people were not happy. A group of Australians went to a website called change.org and started a petition. A petition is a list of names of people who all want the same thing. More than 40,000 people signed their names on this list. They were all saying the same thing. They did not want any of their tax money to be used to pay for Harry and Meghan's private visit. In Australia, the people pay money to the government to help the country, and they did not want that money used for famous people who were just there for a personal trip. The message was very loud and very clear. Many Australians did not want to help pay for a trip that they thought was just about making the couple more famous or helping them make money. Some people even made jokes about them. They called them a celebrity couple from America and Britain who were coming to visit, but not everyone wanted them there. The people who signed the paper were very serious about not wanting the government to give them any official support or security. They felt that if Harry and Meghan wanted to visit for their own reasons, they should pay for everything themselves. This reaction from the public was a big surprise to Meghan's team. Her helpers were not expecting people to be so upset. Because so many people were complaining, a person who speaks for the couple had to quickly tell everyone that the trip was totally private. They wanted to make sure everyone knew that the government was not paying for it and was not involved at all. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not happy about the news of the petition. They said bad things about it before they even got to Australia. Even so, more and more people kept signing the form. By the time they were ready to go, about 35,000 people had already signed it. They all agreed that the pair should not get money from the public to pay for their guards or their travel. Even though the couple's team tried to make things look better, people were still very doubtful. They started asking a very simple question. Why were they really coming back to Australia? If they weren't there to represent the king, what was the real reason for the trip? People were not sure if they could trust the reasons the couple gave. When Meghan and Harry finally got to Australia, the difference between their visit in 2018 and their visit now was impossible to miss. In 2018, there were huge crowds of people cheering and waving flags. This time, those crowds were gone. The streets that used to be packed with people were now very empty. Instead of thousands of people waiting to say hello, they only met with very small groups of people. These were mostly people who just happened to be in the area anyway. For example, in one place called Kildare Road, only a small crowd gathered about 30 minutes before they arrived. It was not a big event that everyone in the city wanted to see. It was much smaller and much quieter than before. People noticed that Meghan kept a big smile on her face for the cameras, but the feeling in the air was not the same. It was not the grand and exciting welcome that she used to have. When you compared it to the huge excitement of their first visit, this time it felt very quiet. People were being very careful and they did not seem very excited at all. One person said they thought it was nice for the couple to not have to do royal stuff anymore, but they also said that it meant the couple was not as important or interesting as they used to be. It seemed like without the royal family behind them, people did not care as much about seeing them walk down the street. The people who talk on the news in Australia were also very tough on them. Some people said the visit was like cosplay. Cosplay is when people dress up as characters from movies or books. These news people were saying that Harry and Meghan were pretending to be royals on a tour, but they weren't really royals anymore. They said it looked like a royal visit on the outside, but it didn't have the real meaning or the real excitement of a true royal visit. This idea spread very fast. It made more people think that the couple was just trying to act like they were still working for the king so they could stay famous, even though they had quit those jobs a long time ago. On the streets, people had many different feelings. Most people seemed confused about why the couple was even visiting. Some people were very honest and said they didn't understand why Meghan Markle was there. Meghan probably expected a lot of people to come out and see her, but that just didn't happen. Many people thought this was a sign that the Sussex brand was not as powerful as it used to be. One person said they didn't even think about Harry and Meghan at all. Another person said they had no idea the couple was even in Australia. Some people said they saw it on the news, but they didn't really care. It was a big change from the days when everyone was talking about them all the time. One of the biggest parts of the trip was an event Meghan held called the Best Life Retreat. This was supposed to be a big meeting for women. They wanted about 300 people to come. However, the news said that the tickets did not sell out. Not as many people came as they hoped. The room looked like it was only half full, which made people wonder if anyone was actually interested in what Meghan had to say. The tickets were very expensive, costing $3,000 each. Many Australians felt that the event was more about Meghan herself than it was about helping the people who paid to be there. They thought it was too much money for what they were getting. There were also rumors that the trip was just a way for Meghan to test her new business ideas in Australia. Some people thought she was looking for ways to sell products or start new projects. They believed she wanted to see if the people there would spend their cold hard cash on her brand. This made people even more confused. At first, the trip was supposed to be about health and wellness. But then, Meghan started visiting hospitals and shelters for poor people. Some people who were watching felt that these visits were not real. They thought the visits were just for taking pictures to make her look good. Instead of making her look like a kind person, it made some people think she was just using the charities to get good publicity for her business. As more people started to doubt them, the visit looked less like a happy return and more like a commercial for their business. They were trying to get people to like them again, but it wasn't working very well. Most Australians did not seem convinced. The warm and loving connection they had with the people years ago was gone. It felt like they were strangers now. Prince Harry also had his own problems during the trip. He gave a big speech about mental health, but not many people wanted to buy tickets to hear him speak. The people running the event had to lower the price of the tickets by a lot of money. The tickets used to cost $1,300, but they dropped the price to $650 just to try and get more people to come. Even with the cheaper tickets, the room was still not full. This was very different from 2018 when Harry was like a hero to everyone. For Harry, this was a very uncomfortable situation. He used to be the most popular prince in the whole royal family. Now, he seemed to be stuck. He was trying to support Meghan's ideas of being independent, but the reality was that people didn't seem to want to see them as much as they used to. The same prince who used to have giant crowds now had to speak to small groups of people. It seemed like the public was getting tired of hearing about them. Their popularity was going down and down. People who were watching closely said that Harry looked like he was stuck between two different worlds. He is not a full royal anymore, but he is also not a full celebrity that everyone loves. The trip to Australia showed this to the whole world. Harry looked very embarrassed because what he thought would happen was not what actually happened. The country that once loved their story and celebrated their wedding now seemed very unsure about them. They weren't sure where Harry and Meghan fit in anymore. The trip was meant to make them popular again, but instead, it just made people ask hard questions about their future and if anyone would still care about them in a few years. So what do you think about how Australia treated Meghan and Harry? It is a very big story with many different opinions. Do you think it is Meghan's fault that Harry's reputation is being hurt? Or do you think Harry is the one responsible for his own problems? Maybe it is a little bit of both. It is a very interesting thing to think about. Please let me know what you think by leaving a comment. We want to hear your thoughts on this royal drama. Also, do not forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this story. You can also share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos like this one in the future. We have many more stories to tell you.